Okay, let's get a materials list going. I'm using the bluish purple 11 seed beads, the 15 O's, the pearly white delicas, 4mm blue pearls, the 2x3mm cream colored rondelles, the light sage colored rondelles, the bronze super duos, the olive green super duos, 2 ribbon end clasps, a toggle clasp, and 2 jump rings. Alright, I'll put all that in the description box below and links to where you can get it. And you can purchase these if you did not get the Eureka Crystal Beads collection, the Emerging Spring Collection. Alright, I'm using a size 10 beading needle, and I've got about a wingspan of fire line. We're going to need a stop bead. It's not quite a wingspan, it's about an arm span and a half. So I'm going to choose a stop bead. I really shouldn't. Okay, I'm going to get one, come back, and then we'll get started. Okay, one more thing. I forgot to tell you we need 2 kinds of 11 seed beads if you want your band to be a different color. I'm just going to go ahead and show you what we're making. I have peyoteed a bronze band on, and the 11 seed beads is for the bezel on the back. So if you can use the same color, it's not going to be seen, or you can use different. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick up the bezel color for 11 O's. Bring them down to your stop bead. Okay. We're going to go through the bead closest to the stop bead. From the stop beads right here, go that way. Alright, if it slides up, just go ahead and pull it down. And I came through 2, I'm going to come through 1 more. I've got fuzz sticking. Okay. And now we're directly across from that stop bead. Okay, let's pick up 3 11 O's. Oh, I forgot one of the most important things. The chaton. We got 8mm chatons in this collection, and that's the center of our bezel. We bezeled those, so sorry about that. Everything will be listed in the description box at least. And then sometimes I just put it on screen for ease. For your, ease. And I picked up 3. I went through the opposite side of that bead we were coming out of. I came through 1 and 2 11 O's. Okay, pick up 3 11 O's. Coming out up here, I'm going to go through the bottom, the opposite side, and pull my thread till I have a unit attached. And then I'm just going to work my way back over to here, which is coming through 2 11 O's. Okay, we'll come through the top and the side. pick up 3, 11 seed beads, come through out the bottom. We're going to needle down through the top, that 11 we're coming out of, and work our way back to the end. So we got to come through 2 seed beads. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 units. We need 1 more unit, so we'll pick up 3 seed beads. Coming out of the top, we'll needle through the bottom, that 11 pull down till you have a unit, needle through the 2 seed beads to get back to the side. Oops, I just flipped my seed beads and mixed them. Okay, now we will, coming out that end seed bead, let's just make a right ankle and go down through that very next 11 seed bead. And we're going to start from this first bead, and we're going to put 15 O's in between each of these sticking out 11 O's. Go through that first sticking out 11 pick up a 15 come through the next sticking out 11 pick up a 15 and go through that next sticking out 11 pick up a 15 and go through that next sticking out 11 So we laid in what, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So now we're not going to put any. We're just going to make that right angle to the end seed bead and through the end seed bead. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. Oops. Make sure your tail's not cut. And then make the next right ankle, because we are going to put other beads on the ends. So we're not going to put beads right there on the ends. Now we're just going to come down this side, laying in 15 in between every sticking up 11 and you'll be laying in 4 total 15 O's. Okay, do that, come back and we'll do the next step. Okay, now we came through the last 11 the last sticking out 11 we're just going to make that right ankle, go through the next 11 try to keep it pulled, you know, not pulled tight. Keep it evened out so it don't bunch up on one side. I'm going to turn my piece over. Now I'm going to come down to the third, come through all the beads, come out the third 11-0 seed bead. We're going to be working in that center, off that center unit. So I'm coming out of that third 11-0. Okay, I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11-0s, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of that 11-0 that I'm coming out of. Like that. Pull down until you have a right angle wave unit, and needle through the 2 11-0s until, you know, work your way to that end. Alright, and pick up 3 11-0s, coming out that top, want to needle through the bottom of that unit or of that seed bead, and we're going to pull it down into a unit. And we're going to work our way up to the tip and beyond. So we'll go to the tip. We're not going to put a bead there, remember. So we're only going to be putting 1 bead. 15-0 through the sticking out 11-0. That, and it's real close to the body. It's got a 15-0 between it and the next 11-0 here on the body. So, and then we're going to come up that center bead again, the one we started working in when we started adding, and make a right angle into that 11-0. See, it lays right next to, so it does not need a seed bead. And then we're going to pick up at 1 15-0 and lay that 15-0 in between these two sticking up 11-0s. Now what we got to do is come around, back down, work our way over to the center. We'll be coming out of this center seed bead on this side. So go ahead and just, for those of you that are beginners, just come through this 11-0, all these straight down this. You can make this right angle, you know, do this right angle weave to get right here. Okay, do that, come back, and we'll do the next. We'll add the, actually, I think you can go ahead and pick up 3, put your units on, and then lay your 1 seed bead in between the 2 sticking up seed beads and finish your cross. Okay, here's what we have. So it's a T right now, but once we add that second part, just like we did this one, it'll be a cross. Okay, we've got our cross. We're coming out of this 11-0 here, where we put on our last 15-0. We're just going to jump down into, needle through that 11-0 on the very tip. Okay, and then just 1 minute, I'll be right back. Here's what we were missing, this beautiful little chaton. Okay, that's what we're bezeling. That's the focal of this bracelet. So we will pick up a 2x3mm rondelle. I've got the cream color, one delica, and rondelle. So this is what we got, and we're coming out here. This tip, we're going to jump over to the very top bead on the next arm of the cross, and we're going to pull, and that'll bend up like that. So pick up the same thing, rondelle, delica, rondelle, and we're going to comb into the next arm, the very tippy top of that arm of that cross, and we're going to pick up the same thing, rondelle, delica, rondelle, and we're going to come through the next 11-0, like that, pull, and then one more time, rondelle, delica, rondelle, and then we're going to come not through the side bead here, which is tempting, but through that same bead that we started in, like that, and pull a little, not too tight, and then we're going to come through and reinforce see how this wants to get in the way. Don't let it. Even on a peyote bezel, you have to go through to tighten it up. So that's what we're doing. Coming through to tighten. We're just going back, tracing our thread path the way we came through the rondelle, delica, rondelle, and the 11-0, and rondelle, delica, rondelle, or delica, yeah, rondelle, 11-0, and let's see. Now let's try to put our chaton in. Hold it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through, I didn't mean to come through that 11-0. We're going to go through, and every two rondelles that has the 11-0 in between, we're going to skip that 11-0, come through that rondelle, delica, rondelle. We're going to skip that 11-0 and pull those corners together, those rondelles together. Okay. Going to go around several times to get it tightened up, but we're skipping those 11-0s, not the delicas, but the 11-0s. It's a little awkward at first until you get it, get the stone real tight, get all these corners pulled together. Excuse me. Don't pull too tight and do it till you get all the way around though. Keep going around and it will cinch that in over top of that chaton. I'll be back to show you. Okay, there it is. Now all I did was come around two more times, and it makes a difference. When I'm doing this on camera, I'm holding my arms way out for the camera, and normally when I'm not filming, I've got my arms in close, and I can control the piece and I can see better. So it makes a big difference. So there it is. It's all nice and tight. That stone is captured. It is not going anywhere. Also, the back is protected from scratch. Especially on the these Delight chatons that has that color coating on the back, they scratch pretty easily. This kind of bezel will protect it. Okay, so now the next step, we're coming out of one of the, not the part with the delica, but the two rondelles that we pulled together. And that 11-0 is squeezed up to the top there. So we're coming out in the center of these two rondelles. I'm coming out of this one. I'm just going to jump right into that 11-0. And that's a right angle weave unit. If you did the earrings, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a right angle weave unit right there. So we're going to go through that 11-0 and down into the side 11-0. Okay, I'm going to pick up another cream colored rondelle, and I'm coming down. My thread's coming down out of this side 11-0. I'm going to jump into the next side, go down. Really, I'm going up, but the same direction is what I'm trying to say. And then I want to straighten that rondelle out, so I'm just going to, oops, I just had it. I'm going to put my needle through and pull, and that'll straighten it. Okay, and then I'm coming down, so I'm going to come back around this unit. Oops, got caught on my finger. Okay, I came back through the bottom, and then back through the side, and back through the top. Now I'm going to go right into this rondelle, Delica rondelle. And then right into that next 11-0. We forced it up into like a little pyramid when we pulled those sides together, those rondelles together. Now we're going to go down into the side bead of that raw unit. I'm trying to work around this tail thread. We're going to pick up a rondelle and we're going to needle down. Our thread's coming this way. We're going to needle, and our thread's going to be coming out the same way. And we're going to go through that unit, work our way around. This unit. And we're coming out the side bead. We're going to make a right angle through that rondelle, delicate rondelle. I'm coming out the side. I didn't come through the top, I'm on the side. And that's a right angle, so we're going to have to take it. And then we're going to go right down in to that next corner 11-0. Alright. So you got 2 more rondelles to add. Add those and come back and we'll do the next step. Here we go. Now, I'm coming out this side. I just put this bead on, went through the bottom bead, and back up through the side. Now what I'm going to do is needle right down in through that rondelle I just put on. Okay. Now we're going to be working with our 4mm pearls and our jocks. They look so much like pearls. And super duos. Make sure you check your holes. Make sure they're both open. I already did that. So pick up a super duo, a pearl, and a super duo. That. And we're coming out of this rondelle, needle through the next, and pull like that. Pick up super duo, pearl, super duo, coming out of the corner here, jump into the next rondelle in the corner, super duo, pearl, super duo, jump into the next rondelle, super duo, truck, super duo, and jump into the next and the first on the other side rondelle. And that's what we have. Now go back around and reinforce at least once. Come back and we'll do the next step. Okay, and here we go. And I went around about 4 times, so it's nice and tight. Now I'm coming out that super duo that's got a pearl inside on the one on the right. So if you need to work your way around there. And we're coming out that hole, the bottom hole. We're just going to jump through the top hole of that same duo. Alright, and then we're going to use our bronze. I did not check the holes in these, so it'll take me a minute to just kind of put my needle through each one. So 3 bronze super duos, or whatever color you might be using. You might not be using this collection, and want to needle through the top hole of that next super duo. Alright. Then we're going to pick up 2 bronze super duos. Two, and we're going to go through the next hole. We're going to pick up 3. Come on. 3 super duos, and we're going to go through the next top hole of the next super duo, and then we're going to pick up 1 super duo and jump through the top hole of the next super duo. We're going to pick up 3 super duos, and go through the next super duo. Make sure they're laying right, and then we'll pick up 2 super duos, and go through the next super duo. And then we'll pick up 3. Super duos, and then we will pick up 1 super duo. And we'll go through that green, the top hole of that super duo. Now we're going to go back around a couple more times, at least 2, and tighten that up, but not too tight where they're all bunched up. And come back. Okay. Now I want you to work your way up to where you're in one of the groups of 3. You've come around and you're coming out the top bead of the 3 super duos, and then jump up into the top hole of that super duo. So this is where we're going to start, right here. You've got 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. Alright, we're going to pick up I'm going to use a sage 2x3mm, and I'm going to go through the top hole of the next super duo. And then I'm going to pick up another sage, and I'm going to go through the top hole of the next super duo. Then I'm going to pick up a cream colored rondelle, and I'm going to go through the top hole of the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a cream color. I'm just going to say white, and I'm going to come through the top hole of the next super duo. And pick up a white. I'm And I'm going to come through the top hole of the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a green, go through the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a green, go through the next hole, the hole of the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a white, go through the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a white, go through the next super duo. I'm going to pick up a green, next super duo, green, next super duo, white, next super duo, I did this one a little bit different than I did the others, but I'll go back and change it. This is, unless you want to change it, but this is just fine. The only thing I did differently was I put a green instead of 3 whites in between the 2 super duos. I put a green, but that's the same. And I'm going to go ahead and put the green in here, but you can put white if you want. What I'll do is I'll just go back and I'll take my pliers and I will crack this one and just add a green one. So I got a white. I'm putting the white white rondelles everywhere that there's a green super duo. And here I just messed up on this one. I apologize for that. Okay, and then I put the greens in between the 3 super duos and the 2. There's only these two groups of 2. There's 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and then 1 on each side because it's too crowded if I would have put 2 on each side. So when you design these things, you work those little details out. Alright, now wait. And if you want to, you know, if you're just starting and, you know, you're just getting the feel for the stitches and stuff like that, another white, eventually you will probably start designing your own jewelry. And you'll have to be thinking of those things. Okay, now we're just going to, actually, just let me show you what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, I hope I don't cut the thread though. That would be, I hope the bead doesn't cut the thread. See, that's what I did. Now I'm going to go back and trace your thread path, go all the way around. Don't pull real tight though. We don't want to bunch us up. But we'll come back through and reinforce. Especially since we're working with Chinese crystal rondelles. You know, if they cut one thread, then you have the second or third one to back up. Now I'm going to lay a green one in. And continue going around. Like I said, not pulling too tight. We don't want to bunch it up. And just lay in another, you know, 1 or 2 rows of thread, just for the protection of the piece. Make it stronger. Alright, and then come back. Alright, so you see how our piece is rounded on 2 sides and flat on 2 sides. You know, this is kind of like rounded off, and then you got the sides that are straight down. So I want to be coming out of one of the green beads. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rondelles on that straight side. That's the 4 rondelles we will be working out of when we connect. So you have to, it would be beautiful to have more than 4 of these chatons and just make the whole bracelet these units. But I don't have that, so we work with what we got and we make it beautiful, right? So, and what I'm going to do right now, let's connect these. Well, first of all, you make your 4 units just like this. Come back and I'm going to show you how to connect them. Okay? Alright, I'm back. Now we're coming out of that 4th on the straight side, that 4th rondelle. Okay, and we've got our other piece lined up the same exact way, with the rounded parts at the top and the straight flat parts, the straight sides that are going to connect. Alright, so we're going to pick up 1 4mm druck, a pearl, and we're going to come up through that bottom rondelle. If I can get through it. Okay, let's see. We want a little space, you know, the size of that druck to be left. It's going to be like that. And let's go ahead and go all the way up through the rest of these super duos and rondelles and be coming out of the top green one here, the top of the 4. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up so I can go up through. This is going to give it strength, okay? And we're going to add the top part, the top druck or pearl. Trying to get them both at the same time, but it's not going to work. So I'll go one at a time. Till I'm coming out of that top green rondelle, or that, you know, not the very top, but the one on the top of the 4, put it that way. Right, let me lay it out again. We want to make sure everything's pulled down tight to where, but we don't want it too bunched up. We want that pearl laying about like that. you know, right in between those two rondelles. Now we want to pick up another 4mm pearl or druck, and we're going to come down through that top, and let's come down through that super duo as well. One at a time if we have to. Come through that super duo like that. Alright, now we want to pick up another 4mm pearl. We're coming out of that super duo. Our thread's coming down, you know, out of the bottom. So I want to go up through the bottom of this super duo right across from it. I'm going to needle up through that super duo. Right like that. So our, you know, our thread's just kind of making a U. It's going out of the bottom, up through the top. Pull. And then we're going to go back through that pearl. And it's going to center that pearl right up. Right in the center, see? Hold the pearl, give your string, your thread a little tug. Now, we will come down through that same super duo that we've been working out of, and it's going to pull this side in the center because thread's going to be coming from both sides. Right? And pull. There we go. Now we're going to come down the next rondelle and super duo. Right like that. And get ready to add the next pearl. Pick up a pearl. Coming out of the bottom of that super duo, we're going to needle up through the bottom of the one directly across. Just the super duo. Pull. Then we're going to come directly back through that pearl. And back down through that super duo. And that puts it right in the center. Now we're going to come down through the next rondelle and the next super duo. Pick up a pearl. A druck, and coming down, we're just going to make a U and go right back up. Coming out of the bottom, we're going to enter the bottom of that super duo. Put that pearl on, go back through that pearl. and go back down, go down through that super duo. There we go. Just like that. And that will center and add that pearl. Now I want you to connect all of your units. Make sure you've got the curved side at the top and a straight side on the straight edges on the sides. That's how it connects perfectly. Alright, now to reinforce that connection, we're just going to do the same steps we did. I'll come down through this rondelle. Oh, no, I won't. Yes, I will, because that's how we added the end pearls. Okay. We'll come through that pearl. Come back up through that rondelle. And then we'll come up through that super duo. All the beads are pulled. They fit very well together, and so they're kind of hard to get to the hole, you know. So I'm coming up out of that super duo. I'm going to go through that pearl. I'm going to come up through that super duo. Back through the pearl. And back through the super duo. Okay, and then we'll go through that rondelle, super duo, and do the next one. Okay, so continue to do that, reinforce your connection, come back, and we'll add the band. Before we put the band on, I'm running out of thread, so I'm going to have to tie this off. And I just want to show you, for you beginners, tying off used to make me nervous in the very beginning, when I first started beading, and I'm not sure why, but I guess I kind of do. I didn't want my piece to break, and I wasn't quite sure how to do it. So you just go underneath a piece of thread that's in between two beads. It's called a thread bridge. I also want to mention my voice sounds hoarse a lot of the times. It's just it is a symptom or side effect of Chiari-2 malformation, having to do with my brainstem. So, you know, I don't like it, and you know, if you don't like it, I apologize, but there's really nothing I can do about it. Some days it's worse than others. So let's do it again. I was talking, so I'm going to go, I just tied a half-hitch knot, so I'm going to go through a bead. Okay, now go underneath the thread between two beads with your needle underneath, pull down, and you'll have a loop. Pull until you got a small loop, not a great big one. If it's big, you'll have more chance of it getting tangled. Make sure your thread stays where you want it. Pull. All you gotta do is just pull, and it ties a knot, and then go through the next bead and pull that knot up into that bead. You really don't want to do this, especially in these small beads. Like we're going to be working over here. I recommend not tying knots over there. So I'm just going to tie some half-hitch knots and close this bracelet off. I'll be back. I'll show you how to add thread, and we'll work on the band. Okay. Now let's get out a tape measure here. So let's measure these 4 components. Is right at 4.5 inches long. Just the components, just the 4 components. I'm not measuring what part of the band I've got finished. So 4.5, you gotta figure it out for your wrist. So for my 7-inch wrist, I need 1.5 inches. So I need to add 1.25 inches over here of beading and 1/4 inch on this side still. And then I'll be set to put my clasp on. So it's 1.25 inches of peyote on a 7-inch wrist. Alright, so now let's add our thread, if you need to add thread. So I'll start, I don't know, back here. Sorry, let me get in screen. And I'll start right here. And I'm just going to go through the beads, work my way around to where I need to be. These beads are all tight. Not tight as in thread, really, but very close together at this point. And then we will sew in this end so our thread will be secure after we're finished, or whenever we'd like, anytime. Okay, go get to there, come back, and we'll do the next step. Okay, I picked up well, first of all, I worked my way up to this top. I'm coming out of the top, working in the green, white, white, green on that flat edge. I'm coming up out of the top of that bead. Picked up 2 seed beads, 2 11/0 seed beads, and I'm going to come down through that crystal, that first white crystal, this sticking out beads, that first sticking out bead. And I'm peyoting with 2 instead of 1, but you're going to treat it just like you would 1 seed bead. Pick up 2, and that's because there's so much space in between these 2 beads that we're working out of. So pick up 2 seed beads, go into the next sticking out bead. We're just doing peyote. Like that. Pick up 2 more and go through that last crystal. So we've got 3 sets of 2 seed beads, right like that. Okay, get there, come back, and we'll do the next step. Okay, we're coming out that bottom crystal. Pick up 2 seed beads. And I'm going to go right up into the 2 seed beads, the first 2 seed beads I come to there. If it's loose, just pull, hold, and pull. Okay, pick up 2 seed beads and go up through the next 2. Like I said, just treat the 2 as 1. Is this 2-drop peyote? I'm thinking it is. Not positive. Pick up 2 more and go up through those last 2 seed beads. Oops, I lost them. And lay those in there. Now this is even count peyote, so all we have to do once we go up through the last beads is pick up 2, turn around, and come down. There's 2 sticking up. Let me pull, tighten it back up. And let me see. Let's tighten them and pull down. Pick up 2 more 11-ohs and come down through the next 2 sticking up. They're barely sticking up, but they are sticking up. Oops. Took me a minute to see them. There we go. Pick up 2 and go through the last sticking out. Up beads. And pick up 2 more seed beads, and all we're going to do is just directly, we're coming down, now we're just going to turn and go up through those 2 sticking out seed beads. Make sure everything's kept pulled tight. Pick up 2 more. Go through the next 2 sticking out or up beads. Pick up 2 and go through the last 2 up beads. Alright, do it again, pick up 2, and we're just coming, turning them because we were going up. We're coming out of these 2 top seed beads here. We're going to turn around and come back down the 2 up beads, the first 2 up beads. Put my finger on it to hold it. If you think it loosened, just pull those 2 beads you just added and then pull them back down. Pick up 2 seed beads, come down through the next 2 up beads, pick up 2 seed beads, come down through the last 2 up beads. Okay, continue to do that until you have the length that you need. I need 1 1/4 inches. Okay, make sure you put it around your wrist. You know, also to measure and see if what you thought worked for you did. I may need a little bit more, but you know, just measure what you need. All right, come back and we'll add the clasp. Alright, I've put my glue right in the center on the ends, and I'm going to put my clasp right on top in the center. And I'm going to gently squeeze down, being really careful not to break any beads. I get a little bit of glue on my finger, that's okay. Okay. Alright, and now I'm going to let that, I need a baggie, I'm going to let that dry. Okay, and then I'll do the other side just the same. Alright, it's not completely dry. It's not dry at all, but I don't want to wait 24 hours to finish this video. So I'm going to go ahead and put the clasps on and show you how to do that. And you let yours dry for, 24 hours like it says. I'm going to be very careful. Let's see, what side do I want the hook to be on? Do I want it to be on this side? I'll try it. If it's not right, I'll switch it. But let's put the hook on, or the lobster claw on. Close the jump ring. I'm trying to be very careful so I don't pull my clasp off, or my ribbon. What are they called? Ribbon clasp. Let me get my lobster claw back on the jump ring. Okay. And then we'll just put the loop on the other side, and that's what the lobster claw hooks to. There we go, clicked in. And there's our bracelet. I think it's so pretty. I love the Eureka Crystal Beads Emerging Spring Collection. And don't forget, on Thursday, I'm going to be announcing a winner for the giveaway. I'll link it below again in case any of you haven't watched it and signed up to win the Emerging Spring Collection. There's so many beads. I've already made quite a few pieces of jewelry, and I'm going to be doing designed them, and I'm going to be doing tutorials on them. So here's the bracelet. I think it's gorgeous. Alright, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.